Alright, so this is Street Fighter II Remastered Edition. This is a complete overhaul, a complete modification to Street Fighter II Champion Edition that basically improves everything. Every animation, every sprite, every background, some of the voices and stuff have been improved, and even some of the gameplay has been tweaked. So pretty much every aspect of this game has been overhauled. Most of this work was done by one person. He goes by the name Pyron. He's been working on this since 2016. Of course, he's had help from others. There's some people that helped with the sound engine and other little things like that. But realistically, this is one person that did all this work, and it took him years. So it's pretty crazy. You know, I grew up a Nintendo fanboy. I grew up with an NES and a Game Boy and a Super Nintendo. I didn't get a Sega Genesis until like 2005 when I started to kind of go back and collect this stuff. And I've obviously grown to really love the Sega Genesis, but the truth is at the time, you know, I was on the Super Nintendo camp. And when Street Fighter II Champion Edition came out for the Sega Genesis, I was kind of laughing at it a little bit, you know. The colors certainly weren't as good, and the voices were pretty terrible. I remember the first time that I saw that, you know, I definitely noticed the voices were a lot worse. And, you know, it's always been thought that the port could have been better. There's people that have, you know, basically made little sound samples and shown that the Sega Genesis could do clear voices in the game. We know the Sega Genesis can do clear voices because there are some games that do really clear voices. You know, Earthworm Jim, Global Gladiators, a lot of those Virgin games had really clear voice samples. You know, the Data East Presents little intro in Turrican, that is probably one of the clearest voice samples I've ever heard on the Sega Genesis, and it is like crystal clear. So it can be done, and most of us know that. It's just, you know, this wasn't the best port. Capcom could have done better, and this just proves it. So like I said, this guy's basically improved everything. As far as I know, almost every art asset has been redone. A lot of the presentation has changed. Right down from the character select screen, you know, the player select map. All the little portraits, the mini portraits during the character select have been all changed, but the large portraits, which is like in the stat screens or in between fights, those have been totally redone. They look a lot better. The text has been changed. The font, I should say. Font's been changed. The HUD has been changed to look, I guess, like newer. Like, it looks like more like Super Street. Some of the stuff looks more like Super Street Fighter 2, I guess. The world map, I think, looks a little more like, from what I remember, looks a little more like Super Street Fighter 2. And same with the HUD. Yeah, a lot of the animation's been changed. Apparently, the colors have been changed. There's actually more colors on screen in this version. And, yeah, some of the gameplay, like I said, has been tweaked. So, yeah, it's quite a lot of work went into this, and it shows. It definitely looks a lot better. The animation, in some cases, looks better. And I think the sounds are a lot better. Some of these special moves, I don't know if the sounds sound that much better, but the like round 2 fight, like that sounds so much better. I think that's more like the Super Street Fighter 2 again, from what I remember. So yeah, some of the assets might have been taken from Super Street Fighter. Either way, a lot of work went into this.
Round 1, fight!
I'm playing on an emulator, just because, to be honest, I couldn't get this to work on my EverDrive, and I'm not sure why. I got the links down in the description. If you want to download this, you will need the original ROM, so try and match your ROM name to the one in the description, and then you can download the patch and the IPS patcher, apply the patch to the ROM, and yeah, they'll have those links in the description, but again, you'll need to supply the original ROM, which shouldn't be hard to find if you need to find that. But yeah, I'm playing it on an emulator because I couldn't get it to work on my EverDrive. I've read other people have got this to work on their EverDrives or their flash carts, so I have seen other people playing this on real hardware. It's been said it works on real hardware. Why it doesn't work on my EverDrive, I'm not sure. I even checked the like the CRC or like the ROM header to make sure that was right, and it was. It's a bin file. It should. It's a bin file, and it's only like 3 megabytes. It's not really that much bigger than Champion Edition. It's still smaller, still way smaller than Super Street Fighter II as far as the file size goes. So yeah, I'm not sure why this doesn't work on my EverDrive, but my EverDrive is an original, like an absolute OG original EverDrive. It's not a Mega EverDrive, and there's multiple versions of that now. So there's a lot of newer versions of the EverDrive that have come out. Mine's the original, so I don't know if it's got something to do with that, but yeah, I couldn't get it to work on my EverDrive. But I would like to hear if you guys have an EverDrive, a newer EverDrive, or even if you have the original EverDrive, let me know if you got it to work, or any other kind of flash cart. Because yeah, this should work on real hardware. A lot of people have said it works on real hardware. I just couldn't get it to work on mine. Either way, this is definitely awesome. Definitely worth checking out. If you're a fan of Street Fighter II and you've got a Sega Genesis, this is it, man. This is the quote-unquote definitive version for sure. There's really no reason you shouldn't be downloading this right now. So yeah, enjoy.